We're in Natalie McLean's beautiful kitchen, and in a while we're going to show you her wine cabinet. Perhaps you'll remember Red, White, and Drunk All Over. That was Natalie's first book, which garnered a lot of international attention. I've lost track of how many awards the book actually won, Natalie.
Well, things are a bit of a blur for me, but for different reasons. It's the research.
Not because of the wine, but you won a very prestigious award with your last book.
Yes, I did. It was named the best wine book in the world, but at the World Gourmand Cookbook Awards.
And you have such a following. I mean, as I said earlier, 5.1 million readers really regularly track down your wine column.
There are a lot of thirsty people in the world, Leanne.
A lot of thirsty people and a lot of people who are really interested in your insights. And you've long made it your mission to sort of take away any of the wine snobbery out there.
I do try, because I think, the joy of wine is enjoying it with people, with food. It's not about, did this wine get a high score, or, what critic is saying about it. I think it's all about sitting down and bringing people together at the table.
And bringing people together in a casual way, and I think that probably speaks to your East Coast roots. And you certainly say that you weren't raised in a home or in an environment where there were silver spoons either in your mouths or on the table, I think I heard you say. And wine wasn't, it was only a very special occasion sort of a thing. Tell us about how maybe your childhood perspective, your East Coast roots have led to this world gallivanting and exploration.
Sure. Well, wine wasn't on the table because we were a good Scottish family, so it was beer and whiskey in Nova Scotia. I acquired that taste later, but I did develop a nose for a bargain when I was in the East Coast. So we, were very frugal. We didn't come from, big circumstances financially. So we shopped at Frenchie's. I think you know that. Maybe people don't know that store.
Bargain store.
Yes.
We both did some shopping at Frenchie's. It was
you could always find something there. Secondhand clothing.
You had to hunt for it, but you would find great secondhand clothing.
Always.
And so that led you to being able to hunt for
great wines, because it's the thrill of the hunt. Anyone can lay down, $100 and say, yeah, I got a great wine. Well, good for you. It's like, I don't know, shooting deer in the zoo or something. I wouldn't do that. But, finding a wine that tastes, or that say it costs $12 but tastes like $25, that's the challenge.
I think that, you have a lot of reasons for people to find you popular, but I think that may be one of your greatest reasons for popularity. People really appreciate that insight. But you didn't just go to the cupboard. You traveled all over. So tell us the premise of the book.
Sure. Well, for each chapter, there are 8 of them in the book. I go to a different wine region. So I start off in Australia, a lot of favorite wines there with the big Shirazes. But then I go to Niagara because I'm a really big fan of our own homegrown wines. Then there's Germany, South Africa, Sicily, Argentina, Provence, Portugal. Every story, you get to travel, kind of be an armchair traveler, whether you can go or not, but travel with me to discover those wines.
Well, some of the wine writers, and even, shall we say, some of the snotty wine writers, say Natalie McLean gets it. And as you're writing, it's a narrative, so you really like to paint a picture of the place and of the characters.
Exactly. First and foremost, I love writing about people. Wine is an excuse for me to be nosy and get into people's homes and lives and ask them indiscreet questions. But it's in telling the story of these people that we can tell, I think, the story of wine more interestingly, because there's only so much you can say about wine. It's wet, it's red, it's white.
You said it was great to read that. You said food writers have changing flavors all the time, but you're dealing with grapes.
Yes.
And but it really is sort of amazing how much you can write and how many experiences there are for the ultimate sensuist.
Absolutely. And the way that wine can bring you together. I think that's what people are interested in, the conversation that happens around the table. And every bottle can have a story. And that's what I'm also trying to get at.
I can't ask you to pick just one favorite story, but I can ask you to pick one of your favorite stories. Share with our viewers one of the favorite characters you met in your travels.
There are just so many. I met Martin Malivoire in Niagara, and he used to be a special effects filmmaker. And so he is one of many people who came from another field completely and was reborn with wine as a sunny second career. But he's fascinating because he's in Niagara making organic Pinot Noir and other wines, but I just love them. They're spectacular. And we went back to his home and we made this fall harvest dinner together and paired them with his wines. And so you just never forget that, the way that you can meet someone and connect with them on that level.
I know you're anxious to see her wine cabinet. We are going to share that. We're going to be back with more of Natalie McLean's stories, adventures, more tales from the book, and it's called Unquenchable. So if you find yourself unquenchable, she's someone you need to know.